cardboard box, discarded, left by the side of a lonely road, swallowed by the dense undergrowth of a Philadelphia winter. But inside, there was no forgotten trash, no discarded secrets of a careless world. Inside was a child, a little boy, and for 66 agonizing years he had no name. This isn't just a story about a cold case. It's a haunting echo from the past, a whisper that refused to be silenced, a mystery that clawed at the conscience of a nation. It's the story of Joseph Augustus Zarelli and the journey to finally speak his name. Imagine the scene. It's January 25th, 1957. The air in Fox Chase, Philadelphia, bites with the chill of winter. A young man out checking his muskrat traps along the desolate Susquehanna Road stumbles upon something deeply unsettling. A large corrugated cardboard box, the kind used to ship bassinets. He hesitates. Something feels wrong. He glances inside, and his world, along with the collective innocence of a city, shatters. Inside that box lay the naked body of a small boy. His eyes were open, staring blankly. His tiny frame, barely 4 years old, was emaciated, starved, and the bruises, so many bruises, a tapestry of violence etched onto his skin. It was clear this wasn't an accident. This was murder. A brutal, unthinkable act against a child. The police arrived, their grim faces reflecting the horror of the discovery. They meticulously processed the scene, but the box offered few clues. No fingerprints, no identifying marks, no note, no trace of who had left him there. Just the boy, and the chilling silence of the winter woods. The discovery sent a shockwave through Philadelphia. A child, discarded like refuse, his life extinguished before it had truly begun. The sheer brutality, coupled with the complete lack of identity, immediately set this case apart. Who was this boy? Who could commit such an atrocity? And why? The city rallied. Flyers with the boy's composite sketch were plastered everywhere. Bus stations, post offices, storefronts. His haunting eyes, drawn by forensic artists, stared out from every corner, pleading for recognition. Police worked tirelessly, interviewing hundreds, chasing down every whisper, every rumor. They even dressed the boy in new clothes, hoping someone might recognize the outfit, a desperate attempt to give him back a piece of his dignity, a shred of his humanity. But nothing. No one came forward. No missing persons report matched his description. It was as if this child had simply materialized out of thin air, only to be brutally taken. The media dubbed him the boy in the box. The nation, horrified, began to call him America's unknown child. He became a symbol of innocence lost, a stark reminder of the darkness that could lurk just beneath the surface of everyday life. The case wasn't just a local tragedy, it became a national obsession, a collective wound that refused to heal. The initial investigation was exhaustive. Detectives followed every lead, no matter how tenuous. They canvassed orphanages, foster homes, and hospitals. They even consulted psychics, desperate for any flicker of insight. But each path led to a dead end. The boy's identity remained elusive, shrouded in a fog of unanswered questions. Years turned into decades. The case files grew thicker, but the answers remained just out of reach. The original investigators retired, some passing away with the heavy burden of the boy in the box still on their minds. New generations of detectives took up the mantle, inheriting the cold case, driven by the same unwavering commitment to give this child his name back. They exhumed his body multiple times, hoping new forensic techniques might offer a breakthrough. They took DNA samples, even before the technology was truly advanced enough to make a difference. But the silence persisted. The case became legendary, a haunting fixture in the annals of American true crime. It was the oldest unsolved homicide in Philadelphia, arguably one of the oldest in the entire country. A stark, painful reminder that some mysteries simply refused to yield their secrets. The hope of identification dwindled with each passing year, replaced by a quiet, persistent ache in the hearts of those who remembered. It seemed America's unknown child was destined to remain just that, unknown, forever. But the human spirit, especially the spirit of justice, is remarkably resilient. Even after 66 years, the Philadelphia Police Department refused to let go. They carried the weight of this case, a silent promise to a forgotten child. And then, something shifted. The world of forensic science had quietly, dramatically evolved. The advent of genetic genealogy, a revolutionary technique that combines DNA analysis with traditional genealogical research, began to crack open cases once thought impossible. It was a painstaking process, requiring tiny fragments of DNA to be uploaded to public databases, searching for distant relatives who might unknowingly hold the key to a decades-old mystery. In 2019, a new team of investigators, armed with this cutting-edge technology and an unshakable resolve, decided to try one last time. They carefully extracted a new DNA sample from the boy's remains. It was a delicate, precise operation, knowing this might be their final chance. They sent the precious sample to forensic genetic genealogists, experts who specialize in building family trees from genetic clues. It was a long shot, a needle in a haystack, but it was their best shot. The world held its breath unknowingly as the silent work began. The process was slow, meticulous. Each genetic match, no matter how distant, had to be painstakingly verified, building a family tree branch by branch, generation by generation. It was like assembling a shattered mosaic, piece by agonizing piece. For 3 long years, the team worked in secret, following leads, confirming connections, narrowing down the possibilities. Then, on December 10, 2022, the Philadelphia Police Department called a press conference. The air was thick with anticipation. The world had waited for this moment for over 6 decades. And then, the words came. Words that finally gave a voice to the voiceless. The boy in the box has a name. His name was Joseph Augustus Zarelli, born on January 13, 1953, right there in Philadelphia. He was just 4 years old when his short life was brutally cut short. The announcement reverberated across the globe. After 66 years, America's unknown child was unknown no more. He was Joseph. But the revelations didn't stop there. The genetic genealogy work continued, pushing further, deeper into the family tree. On January 20, 2023, just over a month after Joseph's identity was revealed, investigators announced another monumental breakthrough. They had identified his biological parents. Their names were not released publicly, out of respect for their surviving family members, and because the investigation into Joseph's murder is still very much active. But the fact remained, Joseph Augustus Zarelli was no longer an orphan of history. He had a family. He had roots. The identification of Joseph Augustus Zarelli is a testament to unwavering dedication, to the relentless pursuit of justice, and to the incredible power of modern science. It brings a measure of peace, a sense of closure, to those who carried his memory for so long. He is no longer just the boy in the box. He is Joseph, a real child, with a birth date, a family, and a story that deserves to be told. But while his identity has been revealed, the ultimate question still hangs heavy in the air. Who killed Joseph Augustus Zarelli, and why? The identification of his parents brings investigators closer than ever to finding those answers, to finally bringing his killer to justice. The case is no longer cold. It's alive, breathing, with new purpose. Joseph's story reminds us that every life, no matter how brief, matters. Every victim deserves a name, and every crime deserves to be solved. His journey from an anonymous tragedy to a recognized individual is a powerful beacon of hope for countless other cold cases around the world. What do you think about this incredible breakthrough? Does it give you hope for other unsolved mysteries? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story moved you, if you believe every victim deserves a name, please take a moment so you don't miss our next deep dive into the shadows of true crime. Until then, stay curious and remember the stories that refuse to be forgotten.